Hello, Aries, and welcome to Soul Guidance with Adriana. I'm Adriana. I'm a transformative life coach and an abundance consultant. I have an intuitive message for you today about your week. We're going to start with your animal oracle, the hyena. This is a tricky card. As you can see there, we've got interesting colors going on, a very lush, beautiful background here, and then a kind of scary, skeletal, negative background here, perhaps. And the key word for us is fear. Okay, this is a big trigger word, especially right now. But what hyena asks you to do is get real about your fears, face your fears, and not just face them, but face them down, Aries. Look at them in the face and really ask yourself what is behind this fear. Because as you can see, behind this scary thing, some people might say a skeleton is scary, behind the scariness is everything you would want: lushness, abundance, nice colors, verdant greenery. So there is a message in your fear through you. What you think you fear is probably not what you actually fear. So crowning your reading with this, interesting to see where it goes next. Let's look at where you are this week. We have the Star. I'm going to look at where you're going. Queen of Swords. Okay. So we've got the Star is where you're starting this week. And the Star card is that coming back to self, coming back to home, and again, getting in touch with yourself again. This fear card, this fear energy is wanting you to pull inward, because what's coming next, Queen of Swords, is a decision. So it's very important that you are honest with yourself about how you stand, and you're also honest with yourself about how you feel. Fear is a tricky emotion to work with because in a spiritual sense, it's not real. Fear is an illusion. It's created by the ego. It's created by the mind. But we have to be in tune with our fears because they tell us where we're not believing something exactly correct, where we're not being honest with ourselves about what we actually want. Sometimes a fear of failure is really a fear of success. You know, if I succeed, well, then my world's going to change, or I'm going to have to be more responsible, or I'm going to have to show up in different ways that I'm not quite ready for. So you might tell yourself, I'm really afraid of failing. And actually, that's not true. Fear of success is the true meaning here. So our Star is asking you to get back in touch with yourself and to be willing to come home to yourself in a very open, vulnerable way. Facing your fear is not an easy thing to do because, you know, we feel we have to show up strong in the outside world, but these cards are asking you to face that fear. Okay, let's move into the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is that decision that's coming to you. And it's very important that in facing your fear, you've been able to separate fear from reality. Because the Queen of Swords wants you to make your decision from reality and from truth, which points upward towards the self, the higher self, and the heart ultimately. Okay, now you notice also the Queen of Swords has her eyes closed and she's looking inward. The Star is looking down, she's looking inward. Everything is about aligning with your inner truth and making sure that you are on the correct side of your thoughts. Okay, that when this decision comes up, it's coming out of an honesty with yourself. And it's not coming out of fear of what you think you should do or what probably you're feeling pushed to do. Okay, let's look at energy coming in. 5 of Cups. Man, it's not an easy week, is it, Aries? Okay, 5 of Cups coming in. You know, we've been in this eclipse season, and there's an eclipse on Saturday in Sagittarius, and also we've got some stuff going on with the outer planets, Pluto and Neptune. And in my own life, what I've been noticing are there past situations coming back, past energies coming up. and they're not pretty. They are quite, it's kind of like they're showing themselves at their worst. And I feel the same type of energy coming for you in this Five of Cups, Aries, that a situation, a person, or a circumstance from the past comes back and it rears its ugly head, and you see it in all of its disgusting, terrible glory. Okay? Now, all of these cards are so powerful and so tied together, because if you follow this sequence, getting honest with your fears, getting in touch with yourself, getting in touch with that vulnerability and honesty, your decisions come from a better place. And when you're faced with this energy from the past, you're going to know how to move on, and you're going to know how to shift through it so that you're different. Fives in this deck particularly are about the invitation to transform. And so something that seems bad may not be bad. It may actually be good for you, but it's not necessarily going to be pretty. It's not going to feel like a blessing or like the heavens raining down on you. But ultimately it is, because it's allowing you to complete a cycle, and then you can move forward having finished the cycle and being able to just cut yourself loose from it. Okay, let's get our overall healing message. Another Five of Swords. This is all about resolving what you feel has been taken from you in the past, Aries. Now, it's important to understand that people cannot take, things cannot take unless we give in the first place. Nothing really is taken unless we are complicit in it as well. Okay, so these cards are asking you to really come to terms with that concept that nothing has been taken from me which I haven't given first. Okay, now when you realize that, you are immediately empowered. And this is really important. When you realize that you were complicit in something being taken from you, you are empowered because you were in control of that. And when you realize that, then you understand that these situations were not losses. They were on the way to teaching you empowerment. And it's from that place that you can make your empowered decision. So this is a really tough call. I mean, this is a big ask for you spiritually this week, Aries, not to get lost in drama, not to get lost in the story about your loss and how everything was not working out because something was taken from you. This is about understanding that the universe is giving you an opportunity to rise above this situation and to deal with it differently in a way that will transform your future, so that you're not facing into your fears anymore. You're actually turned around back into this energy of abundance. And it is from there that you can start to grow. But first, there's got to be a release. All right, Aries, thank you so much for joining me and for sharing your time and energy. It's always really meaningful and lovely to hear from you. So if you feel like reaching out with a comment, that's great. And I will look forward to seeing you next time, wishing you so many blessings for the week ahead.